Disclaimer. This is not my story. I found the story on Wattpad by a user called allthingsblurry. She wrote the entirety of the story, and I'm just voicing it and publishing it for more people to see. Originally, her story is written in a POV form, interchanging between the perspective of different characters. All I did was change up the format in a way that didn't make it a POV story, and I added more descriptive language and really dragged the story as it was very vague. However, the story is entirely theirs, and I will not be taking credit for any of the storyline. For efficiency purposes, I have compiled every chapter I publish of her story as a mashup of several separate chapters published by her. This is her Wattpad, and I have also added it in the description in case you want to go support her. Let her know your thoughts on the story, tell her I voiced her story if you want, and or read the original. I really highly advise you do that. This is a random story that I read and personally found very entertaining, and I hope you do too. Enjoy. Almost a year had passed since the crazy experiences with the time turner. Life was back to the same old stuff. School, studies, homework. Rose had started to warm up to Scorpius. Her and Albus hung out with the boy even from time to time. They'd gotten along so well that they'd forgotten about the time when Scorpius tried to ask Rose out. Of course it ended in a massive flop, but it was worth a try. Regardless, everyone had moved on from that, and life was good again. As they eased into the year, the teens found themselves piled up on homework. School was no joke. The time when they went easy on you had passed, and the bar was raised. Scorpius and Albus sat in the common room, busy at work, writing a whole 3-page essay that they had to complete for potions class. Scorpius was rambling on about something while he tried to get on with his paper, but the whole story fell on deaf ears as Albus just blanked out and focused on his work. He just pretended to listen and nodded along a little, continuing to write. So, Albus, do you think she'll say yes? Albus snapped back in when he was asked the question and looked up at Scorpius with an apologetic look, seeming a little lost. Oh, sorry, I wasn't really listening. Scorpius leaned in closer to him, distracted from his essay. I said, what do you think Rose's response will be? Do you think she'll say yes if I ask her out again? Something about that question made Albus a little uneasy, but he couldn't exactly put his finger on it. Huh? Yeah. I think so. Yeah, I think she will. Scorpius looked hyped up and excited. He looked confident in himself. Awesome! Then I'm gonna do it. Yes, that's it. I'll ask her out tomorrow. The next day, Albus was just hanging around, minding his business when he saw Scorpius running towards him. Albus! A smile came across Albus's face and he turned to face the boy. Oh, hey Scorp, what's up? You remember how I was going to ask Rose out today? Well, I did, and guess what? She said yes. There was that weird feeling again. This strange, nauseating feeling of unease. Distaste almost. Oh. I haven't decided where to take her yet. Maybe somewhere in Hogsmeade. I could... Scorpius went on and on, describing his dream date with Rose to his pal, who wasn't even listening anymore. Again, Albus had half voluntarily spaced out, and all of Scorpius's rambling went in one ear and out the other. His mind was elsewhere. Being completely honest with himself, Albus admitted that he wasn't very comfortable with Scorpius going out with Rose. But again, he didn't know why, and it was bothering him. He tried to pin it on the fact that Scorpius was his best friend, and Rose was his cousin, so things could really get weird. But no matter how he poked and prodded at the idea, it didn't feel right. Maybe he was just overprotective with Rose. No, that wasn't it. Maybe he liked Rose? No, never mind. To hell with that. That was disgusting. Ew, never in a million years. The day went by as usual, but upon going to bed, Albus found himself troubled with the thoughts from before circling his mind. He was still trying to find an explanation, a reasoning. Needless to say, Albus Potter didn't get much sleep that night. As time passed, the frowned-upon day approached. Albus was sitting in the common room pretending to do his homework while he loyally waited for Scorpius to come back so he could ask him about how his date went. He didn't know why he was showing such interest, but he really wanted to know. Suddenly, Scorpius came rushing in. Oh, Hey, Scorpius, you're back. So, how'd the date go? He asked. Surprisingly well. We had a whole lot of fun. We're gonna go out again soon, Scorpius said with a satisfied look. He seemed a bit energetic. Somehow, even though Albus was the one to ask the question, he felt his heart sink. No, it wasn't just his heart. It was all of him. He felt like he was fully sinking. But he put on a soft, forced smile and looked back down at his work. Oh, well, yeah. That's nice. Scorpius plopped down beside Albus and leaned over to take a look. Anyways, what you doing? Albus felt a bit happier knowing that Scorpius was still showing interest in him. Just some charms homework? Wanna join me? Scorpius leaped up and was already halfway through the dorms when he yelled, Yeah, of course. Be right back, I'm gonna get my stuff. When Scorpius came back, though, him and Albus had quickly fallen back to their old habit of completely blanking out on the homework and just spent hours chatting about anything and everything but their waiting assignment. No homework was completed that evening, but at least Albus was feeling way better than he did originally. Hours turned to days, and days morphed into weeks. Several weeks since Rose and Scorpius had started dating, actually. Albus expected to be done with all the uneasy feelings, and he would expect himself to be happy for them by now. And yet, the boys still hadn't gotten used to it. It was alright at first, but eventually Scorpius had started to put Rose above Albus. For example, if they'd scheduled a hangout, Scorpius could out of the blue just completely ditch if Rose suddenly offered to meet up. Less and less time was going towards Albus. Every evening, they would religiously drag themselves into the common room and do their homework together, but now Scorpius decided to break that even, and preferred to spend his evenings with Rose. Rose. Everything was about Rose. Albus felt so alone. He felt abandoned. He was third wheeling most of the time, and his friendship with Scorpius seemed to be fading. At the very least, it was very much on the line. It was a matter of time before Albus would break down completely. At least, that's how he felt. The young guy was sitting in the great hall, fully minding his business, when he saw Rose and Scorpius walk over to where he was sitting. Albus was a bit annoyed, but he was also relieved to not feel like an empty space. Hey guys, he called out, looking giddy. He was met with a dry pair of highs in response. It was sad to admit, but he was glad to see Rose turn away and walk off to her Gryffindor table, while Scorpius came over and sat beside Albus. Maybe this day was gonna get better. Hey, Scorpius? Why don't we get together in the common room today and work on our homework again? Like we used to. Just you and I. What do you say? Scorpius looked over at him with an apologetic look, but he didn't seem to really care about what he was saying. It was no genuine regret. It was yet another brush off. Sorry, Albus. Can't do that. Not tonight. You see, Rose and I decided we're gonna go to the library tonight. That was a bummer. Albus wanted to push on further, try to work in their direction. If he couldn't have Scorpius to himself, even for one night, even third wheeling would be better than nothing. Oh, alright, well, can I come with you guys? He asked hopefully. Scorpius looked uneasy as he glanced at the Gryffindor table and then back at Albus, rubbing his neck a little bit. Well, I was kind of looking forward to spending some time alone with Rose, just the two of us. That was it. Albus was angry. No, he was furious. Oh, well, fine then. Go and spend all your darn precious time with Rose. It's not like you need to spend time with your best friend or anything. Not like you have to carry out your side of the friendship. Not like you have expectations to meet and acts of basic human decency to perform. He turned away, upset. Scorpius was a bit taken aback after being told off. Albus, is there something wrong? I'm just trying to give my girlfriend as much of my attention as possible. And you're just acting so... Albus scoffed and got up, not finishing his food even. I don't want to talk to you right now, okay? Good night, Scorpius. That being said, Albus turned on his heels and left, leaving his buddy all alone, hurt and confused. Now, Scorpius went into deep thought. Why was Albus acting like this? He had never acted so hostile and distant towards him. Well, except for that time when his father thought Scorpius was a bad influence on him and didn't want them to be friends, but that was very much in the past, and things had gotten back to normal between them ever since that incident. So, what happened now? Regardless, Scorpius decided to bottle it all up and just mind his own business. The teens again allowed time to slip by, and it had gotten to a point where Albus hadn't talked to Scorpius in days. He was still a little angry, but that feeling was beginning to be replaced by something else. He missed him. He missed Scorpius. His charming smile, his sweet laugh. He missed actually getting to spend time with his friend. Like, they were friends for a reason. The guy was amazing. He missed the times when Rose wasn't the guy's number one priority. The nights they spent doing homework together and just chatting about life, stuff, school, anything. He just missed him. So much. Eventually, the frustration really got to Scorpius. Albus? Albus! Listen to me, we really need to talk. The blonde said as he rushed over to the Slytherin table during breakfast, standing beside the boy, but Albus seemed very uninterested in anything Scorpius had to say. I don't really feel like talking, he said without looking at him. Albus, stop ignoring me. I said I need to talk to you. Albus coughed a bit. Oh, so now when it's convenient for you, you're gonna persist that we talk, huh? Fine. What do you want? He said, finally giving in. Scorpius straightened up a bit, glad that Albus didn't put up more embarrassing mealtime drama. Thank you. Meet me in the common room at 7 o'clock. Albus just shrugged him off with a nod, turning his attention to his plate of food. As the day progressed, Albus was getting just a little bit hopeful. What if Scorpius wanted to apologize? What if he wanted to fix things? But upon arriving at the common room at 7 o'clock sharp, Scorpius was nowhere to be seen. Albus was pissed. It was 1:15 at this point. Maybe he decided to just spend his time with Rose again. Seemed like a reasonable explanation, nothing out of the blue anymore. But no, the guy still had some sense to his name. Scorpius showed up, walking over to Albus. Hi, sorry I'm late. McGonagall wanted to talk to me. Albus settled for conversation. Oh, why? He asked. Something about the Transfiguration homework. Oh, okay. Anyways, I wanted to talk to you. About what? You know what? Why have you been giving me the silent treatment for so many days? I thought your dad was fine with us being friends. Was I wrong? He is. It's nothing. Come on, Albus, you have to tell me if something's bothering you. Yeah, and I told you, nothing. Fine, don't tell me. But I'm not going to leave you alone until you do. Alright, I'll tell you, it's nothing really, it's just that... Yeah? Albus took a deep breath and spoke. Well, since you and Rose started dating, you're always hanging out with her. I just get so angry when you always blow me off just to go spend some time with her. I mean, you completely cancel on me. Am I not worth anything to you? Scorpius, I feel like we don't spend time together anymore. That we're not as close as we used to be, and it concerns and hurts me, like, a lot. Albus bit his lip, searching Scorpius's face for a reaction, and for the life of him he couldn't read the expression on Scorpius's face. Was he angry? No, upset? Or maybe just confused? Albus was really lost. He was expecting to be shouted at, or he was waiting for Scorpius to get stubborn again and get all angry and just storm off. But no. Instead, he did something that really threw Albus off guard. Scorpius hugged him. Tightly. Albus stiffened and pulled away from the embrace. Scorpius felt bad and added, I'm really sorry, Albus. I didn't mean to completely cut you out. I'm so sorry. I was an idiot. I promise I'll never do that again. All of this felt like a primary school I hate you, I love you situation, but it was alright. Maybe it was for the better even. Albus may not have been able to handle a big and deep conversation beyond what they already had. Scorpius made another attempt, wrapping his arms around the male once more. And this time, Albus hugged back. It was a cheesy situation, but everyone starts self-growth somewhere. And this time, Albus felt like things could maybe finally go back to the way they were before. Scorpius felt horrible. How could he do this to Albus? He was his friend. His best friend. Albus was right. He had duties to fulfill as a friend. Albus was a very important person to him, and he had just completely disregarded him. He was his best friend, and he completely cut him out of his life once Rose came into the picture. He made a mental note never to let that slip again, for it was so easy for him to lose his head over this girl.